Bleacher Report Instagram Live. Good afternoon to my friends on the East Coast. Good morning, rise and shine to my friends on the West Coast. I'm Connor Rogers, host of Stick to Football, joined by my good friend, I think they're getting used to us, Jeff J. What's going on,
What's going
Jeff?
on, bro?
Well, a big night for James Harden, 50-point game. We're going to have to talk about that. A long day for Kanye West on Twitter.
Yeah.
But before we get into any of that, we're starting with Thursday Night Football. The biggest thing on my mind right now, did anyone's thoughts change on the MVP conversation? Is Philip Rivers out in front? Is Pat Mahomes dropping down? Or is Drew Brees just the silent assassin right now going right in? I want to know what you guys think in the comments. Jeff, what are your thoughts on the MVP race, especially after last night?
I feel like this is like how Kyle Murray jumped over Tua after that injury.
The last minute.
Yeah, but this is just gameplay. Like, Pat Mahomes has looked like a god the whole season, but the last couple of games, he's looked human. And Drew Brees has been the most consistent. So if somebody supplants him over Mahomes for the MVP, I wouldn't be mad. But you got to give some love to Philip Rivers, man. He's just been a legend when it comes to these type of situations.
I'm with you all the way. And you look at the MVP race, sometimes it's not about stats, which I know people love to make it about. It's about moments. And last night was a special moment, especially when you look at the Chargers now being the first team this season to come back from a 14-point deficit with 5 minutes left in regulation. That's a moment to me that stands out about Philip Rivers.
Yeah, and I want to know in the comments also, would you have went for a 2-point conversion in that situation?
It's a bold move.
You got to think about it. The division is on the line. First place is on the line. That bye or the number 1 seed or the number 2 seed is on the line. And it's all good for us to talk as fans like, yeah, you should always go for it, play to win on the road. But when it actually happens, it's high risk, high reward. If they don't make it, I'm sure their coach gets scrutinized for the whole week. And if they do, they look like heroes. So I love it. I love going for the win and just saying, hey, we're in a situation where we can control our destiny and we're going to do it.
Especially, yeah, they've lost 4 times in a row at Arrowhead. Go for the win. You guys are getting those comments in right now. We got some love from Drew Brees coming from Michael O'Malley 7. Henry Cuniff, though, going with Mahomes, while Strosa 1 going Brees. It seems like a Brees-friendly audience.
Right.
They're siding with Jeff J. I still think this is Mahomes' award to lose. He's going to have the numbers, but we got a lot of football left. And when you look at it, we got a lot of football left. The commenters agree. They want to know, this one from A Brown 244, do the Panthers have a chance to make it to the playoffs? My biggest question is Cam Newton, is he banged up right now? That's all it rides on.
Yeah, I know his shoulder was hurt, and he didn't seem like himself. Man.
Yep.
That last game, Christian McCaffrey went off, but it didn't seem like the Cam that I know, the Cam like Pete Cam. Shout out to Joey.Morris11, Blake Bortles. I don't know in what earth you live in. Maybe it's not the prime earth, but in that earth, if he's the MVP candidate, more power to you. That was good. You know it's Friday.
Yeah,
it's definitely Friday.
Everyone's chilling. Everyone's getting the laughs. The MVP getting benched or sitting on the bench is Blake Bortles right now. So, you know, when I look at this performance, though, because this is about Philip Rivers, no matter how much love he gives to the team, no matter how much a great decision it was from, you know, Coach Lynn going for 2 at the end, it feels like to me sometimes we sleep on Philip Rivers out of that legendary class of Eli Manning and Ben Roethlisberger because they got the rings, right?
Right.
Does Rivers need that ring to jump them in this conversation, or are we just sleeping on him because they never get it done in the postseason?
Well, I think it depends on what type of fan you are. If you're in the hashtag rings with a billion Z's culture, then yeah, he would need it. But in terms of straight skill, I think it's not bold to say that anybody, any team would want Philip Rivers as their quarterback. Any fan would want Philip Rivers as their quarterback. And he's just always had that dog in him, man. I was talking to you about it earlier. Well, I remember him tearing his ACL or tearing up his knee and his offensive lineman carrying him down during like a playoff run or whatever. I can't remember exactly what it was, but he just always seemed like the one guy who had just as much skill as Eli, just as much toughness as Ben, but just never put it together. And you correct me if I'm wrong, that year, was it 06 that LaDainian went nuts? They went to the final, the conference championship, right? They didn't go to the Super Bowl.
No, they did not. They always choked in the playoffs.
Right. So it's a team game at the end of the day. So I don't know if the ring should put him in that category, but when you're splitting hairs, I think that's one of many attributes that you have to consider.
And I want to know from the commenters today, if you had to pick one, and I know we got our Eli haters out there. Don't forget he's got 2 Super Bowls.
Right.
Would you rather have Eli Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, or Philip Rivers? If we're just talking about the pure player, to me, maybe I'm a little biased, recency bias from last night.
Right.
I'm going with Philip Rivers right now.
I would say if you're talking about, if you're going to ask me pure skill, who would I want, the attributes, I think it's clear that Phillip Rivers is the one. But if you're talking about one game, whatever is on the line, my life, my money, my house, my cars, like my job, I'm going to go with Eli, man, because I've seen him turn into a god in the most dire of situations multiple times where he's done things that I've never seen any other quarterback do. Like that pass to Manningham on the sideline was probably a top 5 pass I ever. You could call it luck. You could call it skill. Luck is hard work making opportunity, and he meets that opportunity at the biggest moments. So when it comes to situationally, I've seen Phillip Rivers go the other way too, and I've seen Eli do it too, but when it matters most, I've seen him come through in the clutch.
Spoken like a true New Yorker.
Oh, of course.
And we got some comments in here that are going to challenge that. Fahim, the Dream 32, dropping facts on us. Hopefully this is true.
Right.
Phillip Rivers has the most 16-point comebacks at quarterback compared to all active players. TXH.91, Phil Rivers for sure. Brocco7 getting in on the action, saying Rivers as well. While Jim Slate is going the New Yorker route. Eli, all the way.
What do you think prime-wise? Like prime Ben, prime Eli, prime Phil. Who would you take?
I'm going with Big Ben. I think now he's always had the help, right? I mean, even before Antonio Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster, you look at all the guys he's thrown to throughout his career, and also the run game, a guy that we're missing right now in Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
But Big Ben's always had the help, but Big Ben's always had the moment. And El Presidente 59, thank you for agreeing with me. A young Big Ben.
Yeah.
So.
Who Dem Saints 3 has Rivers as MVP, and one of the biggest plot twists I see in the comments. I'm sure the name implies Saints fans, and he's saying he has Phil Rivers. I appreciate your impartiality. When Big Ben got into that motorcycle accident, and he like not have a helmet and he crashed, and he recovered from that, I knew his toughness was on another level. Like if I could merge Phil's core skill with Ben's toughness and Eli's ability, like clutchness, I think you'd have the greatest quarterback of all time.
And we still got the jokes coming in. Joey Morris 11, Blake Bortles is better than them all combined.
Yeah, right.
So just an excellent Thursday night football game, and now that division is tied. And I think what matters so much when you look at that, to me, is do any of these teams want to go on the road? I mean, nobody wants to play at Kansas City, so those teams are playing for not just the bye, but home field playoffs throughout. I think when all is said and done, we're going to look back not at this game, but that decision to go for 2 as maybe a turning point for the postseason going forward.
Right, and I'm sure the Chargers will play wherever they need to play. And the fact that they got that 2-point conversion, they've put it in Kansas City's mind now that they can come to your arena, your stadium, they can win in any situation, and they won't be scared. They're going to take a chance. And I'm sure if the money's on the line again, their coach will do it again.
I love it. Well, one last comment on this. Brian Rudd, 23. No way you choose Eli over Big Ben. I'd choose Romo over Eli. Eli had help. Romo carried the Cowboys before having real help. Can't stand Eli.
That's a Cowboys
Brian,
fan.
my guy. You
That's
sound like a jaded
fan.
Cowboys fan.
And I also never forget 2007 when they were the best team in the division, and your man Dez couldn't catch a pass, and Eli sent them to hell. All I'm saying, and Eli's collarbone has been way more structurally sound than anything on Romo's body, so I don't know. I know you can't stand him because he defeated your teams. I can't stand him because he defeats my team too. And they're the Giants.
Lost in all of this on a Thursday Night Football that was awesome. James Harden, 50 points, triple-double.
Yeah.
Now he's got the most 50-point triple-double performances in NBA history. Jeff, where does Harden rank for you right now? It sounds crazy to say, are we sleeping on James Harden? But this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I know the stat hive is going to be upset at people who feel like now all of a sudden triple-doubles don't mean anything, right? But this is incredible, and I watched the fourth quarter of that game where he just went nuts. He hit like a 30-foot three with LeBron hand in his face, and he just was unconscious. But that's a good thing, and I want to know from y'all in the audience, our commenters, let us know, where do you have Harden ranked? Is he in your top 5? And I'm really thinking I got Bron.
Yep.
Right? I got KD. Woo. Steph. I got Steph. That's my top 3. Now, the other 2, I do feel like AD, when we're talking pure skill, pure player, that 5th spot is very hotly debated. I wouldn't be mad if anybody had Harden, but there's going to be a lot of Alphabet supporters, Giannis. There's going to be a lot of Embiid supporters. There's going to be a lot of people who want to put someone else in that 5th spot. But I don't know. Who you think? Who you think, Dakota? Kawhi.
Oh,
Ooh,
yeah.
There it is, Kawhi Leonard. You see, and it's crazy. Like, I'm thinking on the fly right now, and I know our live commenters are gonna say where they have him in the top 5. But I think when you talk about being a complete player, right? A complete player and all the intangibles. I gotta give it to Kawhi. I think he is outside of my top 5.
Okay.
Kawhi, and wasn't I saying last week Kawhi is probably the MVP, and I forgot him this week. Y'all can roast me if you want. Yeah. I would say he's definitely in top 15 right now. Probably top 10, but I don't know if I'd have him in my top 5.
All right, well, the comments are getting involved, and they're starting out with the absolute fire right off the top. Elijah Orlando, James Harden is the MVP and best ISO player ever. That's all right. Maybe might be a Rockets fan, I would say. Shrek 5 keeps me alive. Y'all sleeping on Dame Lillard.
We didn't even say anything yet. We just asked you what the top 5 was. How did we sleep on him? Damn, we didn't even get a chance.
He's going to bat for
him.
his guy. He's going to bat for his guy. I like it. On my throne, 30, Steph, of course. I mean, I got zero problems with that.
But where do you have him in the top 5, yes or no? Let us know, and why. Like, do you think he's in? I want to know, make me a case to say why you think Harden is in your top 5. I don't know if I could put him there, but I will say, the Rockets have been trash this season. They've been under 500 for most of the season. That also affects where you have Harden. When he won the MVP, and arguably when Russ won the MVP, they thought that a lot of people thought Harden should have won it there too. So he's had a good 2-year stretch where he's been an elite player. But to start this season, y'all blame Melo. A lot of y'all blame Melo, but they still haven't been above 500. I mean, if he's who y'all say he is, they should be above 500. They look like they're getting in their groove now, but that record, I feel like, has a lot of the effect on why he may be diminished as a top 5 player in some people's minds.
So Juan Cuban giving Kyrie Irving some love. Gotta love that. Saransky 2018 giving us the hard numbers here. Harden is number 4, while Schmopelive Alvera, Harden is 6. Okay, I like when you guys give us the rankings there. Right. Is it just because he gets killed for his defense or where he plays? What is it? Why is Harden a guy that doesn't get in that top 5 conversation often enough?
I think he's been there. I think just this season, everybody else is emerging. Kawhi was hurt last season, and now Kawhi is back. LeBron, KD, and Steph, I don't think that 3 moves for a little bit. Like, I don't think that's moved for a while. So that 4th and 5th, AD is always up there because of his just raw, like, this is a walking quadruple-double, right? So when you talk about raw skill as a player, then you have to bring all the other intangibles. But I do think he has been in that echelon for a while. It's just the start of the season. Just like Castro the Prince says, in no order. Let me get that. Thank you. Giannis, KD, LeBron, Kawhi, and AD. Harden ain't even in my top 10. Woo.
I agree with him.
Woo.
I agree. I think Harden is borderline, and he's not in that top 5. I think when you look at it, LeBron, Kawhi, Giannis, to me, are really, if you're talking about top 3 stars that you just... Now, I like that Harden can put his team on his back at times, but in terms of consistency, and I know they made it almost to the finals, not quite there yet, he's just borderline top 5 for me. Keep those, and there we go. From Fahim the Dream, Harden not top 5 because of his defense. I think that's always going to be the argument against him when you have this conversation.
I do think he's done better on defense, though. Like, there was at one point where it was bad. Like, he was getting torched by the international community when they went to the Olympics. Like, I still remember when he did the full split. I don't know if it was against Nigeria or someone. I can't remember who it was, but it was bad. But I think he's gotten a little bit better in there. But once you have the stigma on you that you don't play defense, you have to go above and beyond to break that stigma. But he's just so explosive and elite offensively that he makes up for whatever he gives up on the other end. So I don't know if it makes sense for him to really just become a stalwart on defense. He's not going to become Kawhi overnight or the glove Gary Payton or anybody like that. But yeah, that's just like Shub says, Westbrook, aka Mr. Triple Double, is top 5.
The Russ defenders are out. You have triggered all of them.
Harden is not better than Russ. Alan Bode, Harden is the best all-purpose guy in the NBA?
Wow.
What purpose? What other purpose?
I think he means offensively. I hope he means just scoring, passing, whether it's ball handling. I don't think he means...
He gets his shot, though, man. He gets his shot, though. And just to put it in perspective, a 50-point triple-double, that means he contributed to at least 75% of the total offense because he got at least 10 assists, right? And so knowing the Rockets, those were probably mostly threes, right? So he probably contributed to about what? 70, 80 points of however many they scored. That's a lot, man. Along with the rebounds, that's nothing to shake a stick at. I still think Harden is super elite, but when you talk about just the pure players, yeah, it's tough to put him in the top 5.
Well, speaking of all the offense, Kanye West going on the offensive yesterday. A long day on Twitter for Kanye. This man is searching for Drake, and he has finally just brought it to social media. I think that's the last hope. When you drag things out to social media, that's your last-ditch effort. I guess we can call this a beef.
Right.
Whose side are you on in this?
I mean, I don't know if I'm really on the side. And let us know in the comments what you think about the whole situation. When you have an issue with somebody, do you take it to social media?
That's the last thing you should do.
Like,
Come on.
I learned a lot of things from Kanye's rant. First, I learned that apparently, and I love how y'all say it's late, but I never heard this until today, that Sicko Mode, Drake's verse in Sicko Mode was a Kanye West diss. Because he talks about, crept to the light, made a right, because they live in the same neighborhood in Calabasas. So for me, I'm like, if I live in your neighborhood and I really got heat with you like that, I'm literally gonna go to your doorstep and say what's up. Or they definitely have each other's numbers. So apparently, it was all for Drake wanting Say You Will off So Far Gone cleared. And he hit whoever he needed to hit to see if he could get it cleared. And Kanye's like, yo, I've been looking for you for months to clear up all this air, and now you're hitting me because of wanting to clear a song. So it's just, I've used Twitter as my own personal soundboard before, so I can't really judge as much. But it's just like anytime Ye goes off, I wonder what new sneakers need to be sold, what album is coming out, because it just
PR
feels like
stunt.
it's always there's always a specific timing, and I just don't understand why a lot of these celebs, why they go to the internet all the time. Like, you guys have people, your people have people, you have each other's numbers. If it's that serious, now if I try to come to you and it's not working, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna let the people know what it is, because you do have a public persona to keep up and all that bravado, but
it's a PR move.
Right, yeah.
He's getting out in front of things.
Know each other, like, just contact them.
We got everyone chiming in now. Jaya_S. Hi, Travis Scott. I like that. Joey.Morris11. Drake done messed up. Listen, if Drake is ducking him, then he's right. But I don't know if I actually believe that he's been ducking him for, what he say, like 6 months. I mean, that seems a little extensive. But
yeah, Cirque_CEO says it's just for clout.
Probably.
And that's what Kanye's whole point was he said that he's been dissing him because you remember All Summer 16 when he was talking about Ye, the whole Ye pool line. He's like, you've been coming at me since 16. Basically, he had an I made you rant where he said, I made it cool for you to be you because I was the guy in the pink polo and nobody was bullying me. Because I remember when Kanye came out and he was in the pink polo. The way y'all dress now is the way he was dressing then, and that was the era of the quadruple size. Gabe, you remember we had the shirts, Gabe, down to our ankles. It was Cameron was wearing pink and oversized stuff. It was a hard, gritty New York East Coast style that was taking over. It wasn't really a fashionista route that it is now, and even in the NBA, like he does have a case where he shifted that paradigm of culture and what it meant to be a rapper and represent fashion. So he kind of feels like Drake is throwing stones at his own idol. You know what I mean? But it's all, I look at it as entertainment. Ye has a lot. You read the tweets, it's a lot of tweets. He went off for like 12 hours. This is 12 hours of tweeting. And I tweet a lot, right? But he took the cake. He was like telethon tweeting. I thought it was like a charity or something at this point, the way he was tweeting, but
it's never a thread. It's just like, I'm going to drop $1 million. Just make the thread and be done with it.
Right, there's no thread at all.
I don't think this beef is going to be over or whatever it is anytime soon, but one thing we are going to get answers on in terms of beef in the NFL weekend, Pats Steelers, that's the game I'm looking forward to and can't wait to talk about with everyone next week. What's one game you're looking forward to if it's not that one?
Listen, my Giants are trash right now.
My Jets are trash too.
And the football I'm looking forward to is Chelsea versus Brighton, the English Premier League. They're contending unlike my Giants, so I hope that they can get 3 points and climb to the top of the table because at this point, American football has escaped me.
Guys, thanks for hanging out with us so much. We'll catch you guys next week. It's been a lot of fun. Remember, always get those comments in, though, and join us at noon throughout the week. So we'll be back. Hopefully, me and you again.
Yeah,
we'll see.
yeah.
You'll get Taylor, you'll get Lefko, you get the whole crew. So we'll catch you guys next week.
Later.